Hi friends, hope you're all doing good. Uh, Today we had a very volatile day. Market was slightly bearish. We opened at 34,146, showed signs of moving up for the first few minutes. Then there was a huge down almost towards the lows. So market was very, to be frank, Dow made some couple of highs. It was mostly range bound. The maximum I think movement was 34,120 to 34,556. In fact, in my earlier videos, I had mentioned we are. Let me remove all this lines. Okay, we are slightly in a range bound between 34 34,800 to 32,960. So this range has to typically break out. FIs are somehow not taking this range out. The operators are playing in this range. We are moving in the same pattern. We did some good nice up moves. In fact, today 34,808, and then we came down heavily throughout the day. Yeah, still offline now. I'm not online only. I'm talking to myself. Sorry, there seems to be a technical issue. I'm not too sure whether I'm alive. It says alive, but then yes, I think. Okay, sorry. So for tomorrow, I think we would be seeing some. I rather feel that we should see some big moves. Let me remove all the slides so there's no much of. Okay. Okay. So for tomorrow, I think we should see some more highs coming in. If you see, there is a good support. Bank Nifty has taken. In case it breaks 34,100, we would possibly see 33. 560 to 33 to 200 levels. So I would request viewers to trade with levels. We have a good support. Any positive move above 34,000 320 or 34,400, we would test 34,500, and then if this trend line is taken or it moves above the trend line, then we can expect 34,800 being tested once again. However, any rejection or price not able to move above this, we may test the lower levels once again. The other chance what I also see is market can be slightly sideways for some time in the range of 34,170 to 34,400, and then a move on either direction. Mostly, as per what we can see, as per the price action for today, we are expecting market to move slightly higher. When it comes to Nifty futures, uh, and one interesting observation I want you to make, Nifty futures is slightly above the Nifty spot, whereas when it comes to Bank Nifty, it is trading in a discount. So we should see some premium tomorrow in Bank Nifty. Uh, Nifty traded slightly on a higher range, 15,960 to 15,398. This was the moment. There was a good, nice short at these levels at 16,300 below, and then they tried to go slightly high, and then eventually Nifty came down. So we had two trades here. In Bank Nifty we traded. Mostly we were focused on Bank Nifty. We were long. We made 34,500 call. We had almost 120 points, and then we had a slight. We made about 60 points in this drop, and then market became a range bound, and then once or twice of stop losses, but then eventually we made almost 250 points across the day. Nifty for tomorrow, I am expecting to be slightly bullish. Hopefully we might see Reliance supporting for tomorrow. Reliance about 2640, we can expect up move towards 2650 levels. However, the price has to move above 2625, test once, and then we can probably see this range coming. Any move below 2610, we might see 2590 for tomorrow in Reliance. So these are the levels I think we would possibly be watching tomorrow. Kotak has been really performing well, even this down move. If you see in all our videos, most of the videos we've been focusing on Kotak, and then if you see it has good support. It has moved from 1740 where we initial buy towards 1890 levels. So still we see a strong up move in this counter. We can expect 1975. Tomorrow we may see a slight retest on this counter. We typically try to move up, come down, and then eventually move up towards 1975. Any move below this 1860, we may see Kotak making 1830 levels. Intraday, I would request you to have a watch on HDFC Bank, Bata India, Indigo, SBI Life, Aarti Industries, Page. HDFC Bank was holding today. In fact, if you look at the index, it was mostly the banks, which were banks, and auto, which was holding the market. Auto has been really very good during this market. Ma, you are too loud. Can you close the door? Can you close the door? Auto, if you see, in fact, has been sustaining well. If auto is able to sustain 11,200, or you for say, even if you say that if it is able to sustain about 11,000, we may see a big rally in the car in the auto sector. We are only hoping that banks again tomorrow can move. Typically, we might expect HDFC Bank, SBI Life to give us good support tomorrow. I would request to have a look at SBI, hold for a target of 1092. Any dip up to 1064 levels would be a good to accumulate for a target of 1092. If SBI is able to sustain above 1094, then I think we can easily see 1120 coming in. We saw a slight recovery in Tata Steel after the big fall due to the import duty and other in fact now Tata Steel moved slightly it just gave a slight move up in the initial half of the day. It may opened at 1023, made a high of 1039, but could not sustain above this. So this becomes a good buy level for us to, if Tata Steel is able to sustain above 1027 and 1050 levels, then we can expect this gap to be covered and 1190 to be tested. But however, I feel it will take some time for steel sector to recover. So better to be away from this counter. As we have mentioned, we are still a no for IT stocks. But however, you can definitely look at some stocks like as we mentioned, Aarti Industries for tomorrow intraday. We can also look at Bata India. Aarti Industries, if you see, has made also a W pattern, a double bottom. I would typically look for a small retest on this counter of 760 to 754, and then we can expect 780 coming in this big sector. Keep an eye on Tata Chemicals. So this is one stock which you can definitely look to accumulate. Dow has been showing not much of sign of moving up. It did move up, but did not sustain above 1000. Is possibly looking to test 950 levels, uh, and then our strong support is somewhere. Let's look at this trend line. Let's look at the higher time frame. I'm not seeing any proper pattern on this counter. However, any price up move above 980, 975, we may see 1000 being tested, and then maybe slightly higher on this counter. SBI also has been holding on its levels. If it is able to sustain above the present level of 960.64, then we may see move towards 480 levels. However, as far as I see, SBI can be trading in this range for some time. Any breakout above 964, as I mentioned, we can look at 980 levels. ITC I would want to look at because it was showing some positive up move. We'll also look at LIC, Life Insurance India. ITC has moved below 270, so maybe we can look at 267 on this counter. So typically it's in the trading in a very narrow range. I would possibly wait for 960 levels to see if we're able to support, or any break about 270. I may look at entering for a target of 282 with a stop loss of 267. Ashok Leyland, as I had mentioned, was a buy at 120. Nice up move. 133. We had shared a buy in the previous week. So typically going long strongly. Maruti also possibly, I think we had mentioned, is good to add in. Auto sector we've been mentioning has been doing pretty well. Please do ask any questions if you have. We would be glad to answer your queries. Sorry, I didn't look at the questions if there was any. Don't think I have any questions. I have Wow Technicals saying hello. So let's look at open interest. Yesterday we saw, as we had seen, 16,000 puts seems to give a good support. There was some, I think, if I am right, there is 16,000 puts writing has been done. So 16,100 would be a good strong support for tomorrow, and possible up move towards 16,300 would be the next level of resistance. Let's look at Bank Nifty as well. Um, Here again, 34,000 is a strong put writing at 34,200. Next level of resistance would be 34,500. So if this price is able to sustain above this, then we can look at 34,800, as we have also shown the same in the charts. So if our viewers do not have any queries, I would like to, okay, somebody wants to know about Tata Motors. I just shared my view. See, auto sector I mentioned is very strong. So Maruti, Ashok Leyland, Tata Motors are definitely a good bet at this time when the market is bearish. Let's look at Tata Motor chart. If you see, it has it made a low of 370 and has been moving up strongly from there. Today in fact there was a huge buying on this counter, strong up move. Let's look at the volumes. Maybe I'll look at the volumes and share more views, but then as I see, it has been rejected earlier once at 430. So any strong buy above 430, we would easily see 450 coming in this counter. Let me look at the different let's look at the different time frames to see. Tomorrow we can see a slight retest of Tata Motors at maybe 423 levels, and then possibly a big up move 440, 450 coming in. If you are you asking any specific to F&O or only the equity? Let me look at the open interest for Tata Motors as well. In fact, we can even look at stocks have been accumulated well on this counter. We now technologically very advanced. Yes, as I said, 400 seems to be a good support, and there could be slight resistance at 430. So typically if it is able to sustain above 428, 430, then we can see 450 coming in this counter as per the charts, and also the open interest, because there's a huge call writing at 450 levels. And if you look at yes, There has a slight, there might be slight resistance. This is a view for equity. Let me look at futures. Tata Motors futures. Yeah, I think typically looking at overall intraday tomorrow, market can be bullish. So Tata Motors, as I said, you can look to add for a target of 430, and once it is able to sustain above these levels, 440, 450 can be easily taken. Apollo Tires, Dow tended to move up yesterday, and even slightly we see only a downward move on this. So I think it may test 214, and then possibly we can see 225 coming in this counter. Hope you got view on TM. We can even look at Godrej consumer. Meanwhile, I think I was talking about Bata India. Bata India seems to be going well. You see, the trend is also pretty strong. Good up move on this counter. I think there's a strong support at 1656, and we could see some kind of a resistance at 1850. Tata Motors, we will Bata India, we may see some resistance here at this levels. It may make a slight down move, and then we can expect 1820 levels. So possibly we will see some kind of a support at 1770. However, this counter is definitely a good buy. We had also mentioned Hindustan Unilevers and Britannia. If somebody is been following, these stocks are doing well. India Hotel also can be added. Otherwise, I would suggest mostly to stay away from holding for long, as the market is still bearish. So thank you for your time. Tata Motors analysis. Okay, I'll share the levels in Tata Motors. Maybe that would help our friend. Okay, let me see. सर आप जो टाटा मोटर्स के बारे में पूछ रहे हैं, आप F&O में पूछ रहे हैं या लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए पूछ रहे हैं सर? आपका प्रश्न जो है टाटा मोटर चार्ट एनालिसिस, मुझे समझ आ गया। मैं जो बोल रहा हूँ, ऑटो सेक्टर अच्छा स्ट्रांग चल रहा है। आप उसका बारे में आप लॉन्ग टर्म का बारे में पूछ रहे हैं या शॉर्ट टर्म एनालिसिस पूछ रहे हैं? यहाँ पर सर आप देखेंगे कि टाटा मोटर्स का अच्छा सपोर्ट चल रहा है 364 पे। I had to shift because our viewer seems to be asking the same question couple of times, so I'm thinking आपको टाटा मोटर्स एज